Are your stores as empty as ours are? This week I was not able to find any Hot Wheels or Matchbox mainlines in store at all. And in fact, the only thing that I found was this very cool Mercedes-Benz Hot Wheels uh, diorama set. And this has what may turn out to be one of my most favorite Hot Wheels ever in it. But we're going to take a look at this in a little while. I did, of course, find some other things online or via resale or used in the collectibles shop. So the first thing we're going to take a look at is this Shelby Gt350. This is an Acme release. So this is a Greenlight casting sold by Acme, and it's in a caffeine and octane speed and style series. It looks like this is from around 2019, 2020 maybe. I picked this up used or brand new but used. If you know what that means. It's a very nice yellow GT350. It seems to me that these Acme releases from Greenlight have just a little bit of extra quality to them. Let's see if we can get a little more light in here. We're not getting quite enough light. So this one does have a opening hood and very nice graphics, painted details all around. Like I was saying, the Acme releases, in my experience, have been just a little step above the typical Greenlight releases, and haven't had the quality problems that a lot of those releases have. Like this one has clear windows, which is a very nice thing to see. But so very cool. I love the Acme releases. I grab them whenever I can find them. So that's a very nice one. And then also from Greenlight, I picked up in the Black Bandit series this 1990 Jeep Cherokee. And this is a very cool casting. This started in their police series, Hot Pursuit, and they brought out a couple versions of that, and then now they've brought it in and other more basic liveries. And I love the Black Bandit series. The vehicles always just look so cool, and this one's no exception. And this one does seem to look pretty good as well. No clouding of the windows, which is great. It's such a common problem on green lights. But a nice blacked out look. And really, I'm not sure I've got enough light again. Sorry. So, yeah, very cool release. So, we're just getting more glare. Okay. And then this one from Greenlight, I believe this is in the anniversary series, or this may be a hobby exclusive. I'm not entirely sure, but I love these historic police cars, especially from the 50s and 60s. They're very cool. And this one, it's the 100th anniversary of the Maryland State Police 1967 Ford Custom. And this one's just, if you like old police cars, this one is just awesome. Has an incredible looking front end. And just a beautiful vehicle. Great detail in the taillights. Painted, but it still looks fantastic. Just an awesome release from Greenlight. Is the hood open? Yep. Nice engine detail. Yeah, like I said, I love these historic police cars. Definitely some of my favorite things to collect. Okay. Then from Aerocar, I'm continuing my acquisition of Aerocars. I'm become fascinated with this brand for some reason. So I picked up this St. John ambulance, Mercedes-Benz Vito van, and then also a UK post office version and a Taiwan ambulance version. So these are all being saved up for my Aerocar video whenever I get around to doing that. there's still quite a few other models that I want to pick up. And then I picked up another one of their GTRs in this Smca hill climb. This is a USA limited edition, one of 1,200. And again, I think this is just the packaging on these, because I believe this is pretty readily available internationally. Then I recently did a video, it was a challenge video on BMW, and showing off BMW cars from my collection. And I was disturbed by the lack of race cars that I had, BMW race cars. I'm a huge fan of BMW and racing, especially in the DTM. And I really didn't have anything at the time. So I picked up this set of six BMW M4 Dtm cars. It looks like these are from probably 2014. It's the only date on here I can find. I don't know what these are for. They look like a BMW promotional item, probably sold in maybe in BMW dealers in China or at races. It does have the BMW brand on it, and these look to me like they probably are a licensed product, but I don't know who makes them or anything else about them. But they're fairly detailed models. They're not super premium models. They do have inserted details for headlights. They're pretty light. They have metal body. It's a plastic base, and then they have plastic wheels and tires. But inserted taillight detail, and overall pretty cool. They feel maybe a little step down from a Sparky model, although not too far away from the quality of a Sparky. So pretty nice. So this one, the number 7 BMW Bank car, was driven by Bruno Spengler, and this was always my favorite of the BMW DTM cars. And then we have, I'm not going to take all of these out of the package because the cars themselves are all the same, just different liveries. But we'll take a quick look at them in the package. So this one is just like a demonstrator version of the car. I don't know if this was run in actually raced. Although it may have. It has a number on it, so I should have looked that up. I forget who would have driven this livery. Then the number 18 Shell Helix Ultra. This one looks really nice. Actually, I'm going to pull this one out because I want to take a look at it. Yeah, this is a very cool looking livery. Car's the same. All these cars, in DTM, they ran the same spec. The DTM at this time was made up of cars, I believe 6 cars each from BMW, Audi, and Mercedes, and then there would be 2 car teams that would run, or that would be operated by different groups in each of the the manufacturer categories. Then this BMW Lifestyle Puma livery on it, and Red Bull livery. Let's get this one out too. Because it always makes a difference when you get them out of the package. Yeah, this is very cool. I'm going to space on who drove this car either. Apparently, whatever licensing they had for these cars did not include the driver names, as there are no driver names printed anywhere on the cars where they would have been on the actual cars. But very nice. And then the last one, this one was driven by Marco Wittmann, who may have won the championship this year. I don't remember if he won in 2014, 2015, somewhere around there. He did win the championship while driving the car with this livery on it, the Ice Watch livery. And again, same car, just different livery. So these are very cool. I'm very, very happy to have these added to the collection so that I have a few more BMW race cars. And you know, I love race cars. So next up, a couple random local collectible shop finds. I picked up this Jada Big Time Muscle. Not really sure why. Perhaps just because I don't have any of these. I've never purchased any of the Jada castings because they always seemed a little mixed quality wise, and a little large. This is definitely on the large size, but it looks pretty cool. So it's like a Camaro, Pro Street drag car or something like that. Looks actually pretty nice. Seems to have rubber tires. Nice detail on the front. Painted detail on the back, which looks pretty good. This is, I mean, getting this out of the package, it's actually very cool. As long as you don't, put it next to something else, like put it next to this, it's like it's giant. So this is probably, 155 scale or 150 scale even. But it's a cool model. I don't know if Jada still makes these or if these are all discontinued lines. I've never see these new in store. This was purchased used, new in the package but used. So, and then the same situation for this Maisto Design Exotic Series Ferrari California T. Another brand I have never purchased anything from. Maisto now is mostly the cheap stuff, the cheapest stuff that you can find in dollar stores, and the Adventure Force cars that you find in Walmarts. Those are all made by Maisto. And then the only Maisto Design stuff that I still see in stores is the what are they called? Like they're funky team transport things, and which have really wacky looking transporters. The cars in them look kind of okay, but I've never purchased one. So this looks pretty nice. The casting itself is nice. The wheels look good. The quality of the details on it leaves a little to be desired. The paint works a little rough. The Ferrari logo looks decent though. The headlights don't look too bad. They're painted, but it's okay. And just not super clean lines. So whatever process they used to make these wasn't as good as the other brands are. But the casting itself looks pretty nice. Again, large, but it's cool. This is a very cool car. I mostly got it just because I like the car, and I did want to check out the brand. I do always like to do that. Then next up, from Mini GT, we have the latest Land Rover. I collect these Land Rovers. I have all but one of them now. I forgot to remove the cellophane off of this. And this one is a region exclusive item, although you can get it from US-based sellers now. And it is black. And this has a different variation on the roof rack. So this, these Land Rovers they're always fantastic. There hasn't been a release yet that I've truly disliked. And there's a lot of, because of these, attachments and what have you, these variations that they have. They've come out with enough differences to keep them interesting. And this one was, I didn't really pay much attention to the box. The Badan Inteligen Negara Indonesia livery. So this is, I believe, some kind of police livery, but I could be wrong about that. So very cool. Very, very glad to finally have this one. I've been waiting for this one for a while, and to bring my collection up to date. Although, of course, as soon as you get this one, then Mini GT announces the next two that are going to come out, and put you behind again. So there is no real keeping up with Mini GT on these things. Whenever they bring out a casting, they bring out a lot of them very, very fast. All right, next up, we're going to take a look at these Auto Worlds. So I had opened a case of these earlier in the week, so there's a video on that if you're interested in that. But we're going to see all but one of them now. And so number one in the series was this Chevy Suburban in saddle poly. So basically it's gold. And I am a big fan of this Suburban casting, even though the opening part on it is definitely leaves a little to be desired. But it's just such a cool old vehicle. And it's like you're paying a huge price for this opening hood. Huge gap right here, and the hood won't even really open. I have 4 of these now, and I don't think the hood really even opens on any of them. I'm not going to force it. So it's like, I know Auto World always wants to put an opening part on their castings, but this one, they really just should have left this off. The casting would look better, and it doesn't even work. So, I don't know. Anyway, I still love this casting. I think the first release was better. They did the 2 tones, which I thought I had sitting on my shelves, but apparently, oh yeah, here they are. These 2 tones definitely are preferable to me, but it's cool. It looks like they're going to start using this casting more often as well, and there's going to be a number of hobby exclusive releases coming out, and more interesting and somewhat more wacky variations. Like there's one coming with flames all over it, so it's going to be interesting to see those. We'll see how carried away they get with this, if they go like they did with the square body pickups, where they've put out what's got to be pushing 100 different versions of that thing at this point via all of their releases, which that's the next thing we're going to see, is a square body pickup, and then all of the hobby exclusives that they have done. So, speaking of square bodies, the 1983 Chevy Silverado 10 fleet side, and then this is in the white carmine combination. And so my understanding is this is the first of these 83 version that they've released. So that, there are a lot of variations in these. So even though they've put out a ton of models, there are some, they're different years and different. Some are off-road versions, some are lowered versions, and so there is a lot of variety in them. But they put this truck is now in every case, and has been for over a year, I think. And the next 2 cases that they've already announced also have a variation of this truck in it. So it's getting a little bit old, even though it's awesome. I do love them, but come on, there we go. So we got a nice engine detail in there. I mean, it's a beautiful thing. Auto World has just does do a great job on just about everything that they put out. And I just wish they would dip a little more into their catalog of other castings and bring us more variety, because they're repeating the same castings too often for me, and that's a little bit disappointing. And this is another example. They've put out too many of those, even though I think this is a fantastic release. I'm typically not a huge fan of these modern pickup trucks, and originally I wasn't even going to buy a case of these because of these trucks. But I found the red one in store, and it looks so fantastic to me that it changed my mind. And this is actually possibly my favorite vehicle out of the set, which is really surprising. Since it was originally the reason I was going to pass on the set altogether. You have an opening tailgate and then an opening hood. Maybe. Yep. Okay. Not a lot of detail in there that we can see. But yeah, they just did such a good job on the execution of these. You get, the seats are different color than the dash, and then just nice paint with the silver along the bottom. Just I don't know. They just did a great job, and I appreciate when companies do a great job on something. And that's definitely the case with these trucks. And then the other casting that I originally was going to pass on this set because I'm just not a huge fan of Jeeps. This 2017 Jeep Wrangler Sahara Unlimited. But I think it's possible that this may be my second favorite out of this set, which is also a surprise. It just looks so good with the bigger tires. It's the first release they've done with the bigger off-road tires, and then the roof rack, and with the jerry cans and a little pickaxe thing here, or a shovel. Sorry. This looks really good. Love the blacked out look. I believe we have an opening hood. Yep. No color in the engine at all, though. Just black. And unlike the Greenlight Jeep casting, the top doesn't come off on this one, which that's perfectly fine with me. I would rather not have that. But yeah, this looks really good, and this is much better than the version A. So all of these are version Bs, if I didn't mention that. This was the version A of this Jeep, and this one's okay, but this one in black actually looks really cool. So the two castings that I thought were going to be my least favorites out of this set are my most favorites. How about that? And then the last one that I have is the 1994 Toyota Supra in super red. And there is one other vehicle in this mix, the Dodge Challenger SRT Hellcat. Obviously, I bought a case, so I did have that one, but I sent that one off to somebody else as a gift. So I'll need to find another one in store to complete this set. This is a pretty cool looking casting. I think this is the first version they've brought out with this rear wing on it, and the headlights on this don't look particularly great to me. But let's have an opening hood. It might, but it's not going to open. Painted taillights. Yeah, I don't know. It's okay. This is probably my least favorite out of the whole set, in reality, which is a little surprising. I do like the Supra, and I would have expected it to be one of the better castings in it, but it's just okay. All right, let's take a look. Take a look at this Mercedes set. I keep forgetting about this. Make a little bit of room. So obviously these, these Hot Wheels diorama sets, they always look really cool. And this one in particular is special because it brings this Mercedes C9 casting, and that is just an incredibly amazing vehicle. It's a Group C race car. It raced it into 24 hours of Le Mans, and was quite dominant for a couple years in the early 90s. And these sets, I love these sets and I hate them at the same time, because they're kind of expensive for what they are, and the trucks are just basically just throwaways, and they serve no real purpose. They don't, they're not collectible at all. At least I have never heard of anybody who collects the trucks. I mean, do you collect these? The carry-on? Is that going to be something that you're going to want to have 50 of? But we all get 50 of them because they use them like crazy in team transport and then in these sets as well. And I mean, in this one, as far as these trucks go, is fine, but it has no special meaning. It's not a Mercedes. It is in black and silver, but beyond that, it's just it can be thrown away. And so that always bothers me a little bit about these sets. And then on this particular one, the other little point of criticism is this vehicle. I mean, it's cool. I do not have this already, this Mercedes-AMG GT3, but it is a reissue. This was originally in part of maybe the Open Track Car Culture release. I'm not certain about that, but it was in a prior release. So this is just a straight reissue of this vehicle. So you're paying, $25 for a set to get a throwaway truck and a reissue of a car that you may already have. And I don't know what Hot Wheels is thinking with these things. And these sets are really starting to sit in stores, like the Ford Race Team set, which I actually thought was a fantastic set. But it's sitting everywhere. And the prior two sets from before that one, they're sitting in stores too. I can walk into stores and buy them right now. So I'm not sure where Hot Wheels is really going with these. They're poor value, and even though there's some awesome vehicles in them, this 300 SL is nice. I mean, it's very cool. This is like the third or fourth version of this we've gotten now, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with it. But you're effectively, if you already have that Mercedes, you're paying $25 for two vehicles, and including this one, which I would pay $25 probably just to get this one myself, but that doesn't mean I think that it's good value. I definitely do not think that it's good value. But it's a Sauber C9. I mean, I feel like I'm complaining. I must be in a complaining mood today. Complaining a lot more today than I would normally. But, I should be happy. This is, we got a Sauber C9. How amazing is that? And it's a good version. No wonky big wheel. The wheel choice is actually good. The shape of the casting looks pretty fantastic. The wing is straight. We have a removable part here. So there's an engine in there. There's no additional detail added to it, but it's still cool. The rear, this piece is metal. It is not they didn't cheap out and do it in plastic or something. And it fits fairly good. The panel gap is not too offensive. And it's a Sauber C9. I mean, such an awesome car. And if this car was not in this set, I would not have purchased it. I would have passed because this set's not worth it otherwise. But this thing is awesome. They did a fantastic job on this casting. And, you know, for that alone, it makes it worth it. If you're interested in this set at all, they are hitting pretty broadly now. I've had no trouble finding these in Walmarts. There's, you know, I've walked into stores a couple times and seen 15 or 16 of them sitting on the shelf as pretty much the only only decent Hot Wheels or Matchbox item they have in the entire store. But they are readily available at this point. All right, so just a few more things. I received another gift box from David at Twice Diecast. He sent me a bunch of more of Norev. He had sent me a few cars previously, and then sent me another 10 or 12 or so, which is very cool. So we're just going to take a quick look at these. So this is the Citroen SM, and he had sent me one in gendarmerie livery previously, which is this one, which is beautiful. Absolutely love it. And then this one is in a nice gold color. You know, Norev is not a brand that we're super familiar with in the United States. I don't know if Norev has ever had distribution in the U.S. They certainly don't currently. But it's an interesting brand. Most of the cars are in 3-inch scale, so they're designed to fit the packaging, which means they tend to often run a little bit large. But some Norevs are 1/64 scale. It just depends. They will mark it on the box if it's a 1/64 scale. Like this one probably says 3-inch. Yeah, so this says it's 3 inches. This one I'm pretty sure is 3-inch scale. I imagine this is a fairly small vehicle. So this is the Citroen C3 Aircross 2017. I believe all of these are French vehicles, which is cool. Love to get to check out these somewhat quirky French vehicles that exist. And yeah, this looks pretty nice for a small, super compact, I would say SUV type vehicle. It's there is just a little coolness to them for some reason. Maybe because to us in the United States these are exotic to some extent, because we don't have any of these brands anymore. Pujo has been out of the U.S. market. I don't know if Citroen has ever really been in the U.S. market. Maybe in the 70s at some point. But Pujo, Renault, they've been out of the U.S. market for a very long time. So this one was a Peugeot 508. So just your basic Peugeot family sedan. Nothing exciting at all. But it's cool. Sometimes these boring cars are just fun. Don't know why. And another kind of weird, quirky looking car. This does not say. Citroen E So is this an electric car? Must be. That's a really weird design. The doors are so low. And there's no window piece. Yeah, so this thing is like a golf cart that looks like a car. That's my guess. Interesting. Huh. Very cool. Very cool. Okay, then the next one is this concept car Fractal. This is a Pujo. Another very interesting looking little car. Kind of cool. Just a concept car though. Interesting looking wheels. It's cool. And then the very famous Citroen 2CV. This is actually a majorette. I thought it looked just like the majorette casting. So David had sent me this majorette version previously, and I saw this in the box. I was like, that looks an awful lot like a majorette. So Norev and Majorette are related brands. I believe they're owned by the same company now. They were founded by the same person. So in this case, they are just selling a Majorette vehicle as a Norev product. So it's basically the same. It's nice. Glad to have a recolor of this. I was super excited to get this one. So it's awesome to have another colorway for it. Very cool. Very cool. This one's really cool. This doesn't say. SMCA 1600 Rally. Yeah, this is really cool. Kind of a funky looking car. Like a lot of these are just French make quirky looking cars. I assume this is a French car. But it looks cool. I love this. Don't know anything about it, but it's just, I don't know. It's just cool. It looks like the kind of thing that may have been turned into a lot of touring race cars or something. But I don't know. Cool. Very nice. And we have this Pujo 404 Director de Course. This is an older one. It's missing its inner packaging, but it's taped on that side. That's okay. A little more of a classic car. It did not have the year. It's a Peugeot 404. I think this one's really cool too. Yeah. It's very nice. Again, I don't know anything about it, but it's going to be the case for most French cars. And then the last one is the Peugeot 205 GTI or GT1. These cars are cool. These I do remember seeing. I believe they did sell these in the U.S. at one point in time, and they just one of these funky little compact cars, kind of like a AMC Gremlin or what was the other one that they did? Oh, I don't remember. Had this really big greenhouse on top of a relatively small car body. Yeah, I love this. This is awesome. Yep. Very cool stuff. it's fun to check this kind of stuff out. David, thank you again for sending these to me and letting me check them out. And overall, even though the stores were empty and there wasn't too much to find there, still found a bunch of really great stuff. And Mini GT Land Rovers, if you've never checked them out, get at least one. You have to have one. They're fantastic. And so that's it. I will talk to you next time.